It's 7:40. Let's do this. Good evening, Hampton Roads. Good evening, Northeast North Carolina. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of WTKR News 3 Television, and you are watching First Warning Live, where we focus on all things weather. And we're sponsored by Marco's Pizza because we get hungry from time to time. But we do have some big headlines to share with you, and that is the warmer weather is just getting started. I got this temperature change from the last 24 hours taken from 3 o'clock this afternoon. It was like plus 15, plus 16, plus 14. It was very, very warm compared to where we were just 24 hours ago. And it's only going to get even warmer. In fact, we're talking about near record highs by Saturday. That's crazy, because Saturday is, let's face it, low-hanging fruit. The record high is 72 from 1957. It is the lowest high, record high, of the entire month for Norfolk. So if you take 31 days, I believe we have 73 three times, but there's only one 72 high, record high, and that was from 1957, and it's for the 10th of January. So I'm just giving you all the details up front. By the way, did I mention to you, happy blizzard? What are you talking about? Oh yeah, this is the 30th. I'll just read to you. Today marks the 30th year of the blizzard of 96. For those of you that wish and pine and hope and wish and just pray that we get some snow around here, which we already had, Veterans Day on December 8th, but I digress. This day marks the 30 years when we had the blizzard of 96. Now, some of you probably don't even remember this. Maybe you weren't even born. But it was a major nor'easter that pummeled the East Coast from January 6th to January 8th. It paralyzed North Carolina to New England with feet. Yes, as I'm reading from our friends at Wakefield, yes, multiple feet of snow. Some places were impassable for upwards of a week. Unfortunately, this storm caused many fatalities from car crashes, house fires. Repeat, house fires due to generators and kerosene, and heart attacks while shoveling snow. Do you have any memories and photos of this storm? Another round of snow happened less than a week later as well. This is, of course, coming by way of the Northern Virginia magazine and Barbara Ram, who captured this. So you can zoom in. Well, how much did we get where I live? Well, here's Hampton Roads. 6, 8, 10, 12, a foot of snow. And back in the mountains, they had even more. They had almost 3 feet or more. So no wonder it shut things down for quite a bit. In 1996, where were you in 1996? This would be a great time. Great time for you to share what you think, thought, or wish for, because I got Star White from yesterday. She said 24 hours ago, and I'll fly in here. I believe she was like, will Hampton Roads get snow this year? Star, we've already had it. And I don't mean just 30 years ago. We had it in 2025, Veterans Day. In the pre-dawn hours, we had it on December 8th. We're now on a whole new trajectory. That is the warmer weather. It's going to feel like April 20th on January 10th. You mean we're going to be around 72 this Saturday? Yes, we keep overachieving. I was expecting low 60s today. We had 64. And I'm getting ahead of myself, but this is what I believe Star White was saying in her last note, just as she's praying for it. And there's no harm in that, but I just don't see it, right? I'm just calling it balls and strikes. I'm like the umpire at the baseball game. I just call balls and strikes. The way I see it, we're going to get warm. And I said around Halloween that this would be a front-end loaded winter. So far, so good. So let me get to the numbers, because I also want to mention that we did have a very mild morning this morning. Yesterday was 28. This morning it was 42. 42, 28, right? It was 28 degrees yesterday morning in Norfolk. That's a degree mark there. So we were, 14 degrees warmer today in the morning at 42. And that occurred actually at 7:20 a.m. Now, if I skip a beat, go to the high, we hit 65. I was expecting probably closer to 61, and we made it to 70 in Edenton today. I mean, we're overperforming the guidance that would be suggested in wintertime. And this sometimes happens, but I will tell you, 65 degrees occurred at 3:23 p.m. So I'm just going to give you some context. I know you might be watching for the first time. It's more humid. Very few people would ever think to tell you about this. But dew points at 6 o'clock this evening was at 54, and it was 35 dew point yesterday at 6. So we've jumped up closer to 20 degrees on the dew point, which means it's feeling more like spring. Maybe pollen will come alive to the sound of warmth, because these dew points are plus 17 even at this hour, plus 14 in Virginia Beach. And when you look at these numbers, you don't expect dew points in the start of January to be in the mid-50s. You just don't. And as a result of all this, I'm building to something. Expect some fog in the morning. Fog? Yeah, fog might be an issue. Might be down to about a half mile or less along the eastern shore. That's what's suggested here. You might find poor visibility of 2 miles or 5 miles on the south side. It could be low around the Outer Banks too. Anyone's fair game for a little bit of fog. Given these higher dew points, which you see pictured here at 54, I do think we're going to have the potential for fog first thing tomorrow morning, and then it's going to be a nice, bright, sun-filled rest of the day. That's kind of nice, right? Look forward to that. But yeah, there's 2 miles. There's a mile here. What time is this, Aldrich? This is 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. We are first warning, so I'm giving you first warning. There could be some fog in your drive into work tomorrow. Will it be debilitating? Probably not. Will it be noticeable? Very possibly. Very possibly. So what is also noticeable is the fact that you guys are gone, what have we gone 5 minutes, and I haven't even had a chance to tell you what I'm excited about with our sponsor, and that is the deal of the week. Mike's Hot Honey, one of the coolest things that's come around the pike in terms of condiments, better than ketchup, better than whatever sauce that some companies come up with. Mike's Hot Honey, I believe, came out of Brooklyn, and it's a combination of fusion of honey and like chili peppers or jalapeno peppers. So it's got a little bit of kick. It's sweet to taste to start, but then it's really, really good. You got to try it. It's great on chicken. It's great on pizza. Marcos has their own Mike's Hot Honey Magnifico. You can save about $6.50 to $7 by using the promo code WTKR Sunny. If you haven't had a Mike's Hot Honey Magnifico, I would encourage you to check it out. Now, not every Marcos is going to honor that promo code, but there are 6 locations that will. WTKR, that's our TV call letters, and Sunny is the promo code you would use at the checkout. Now, there are 6 locations that will participate, 3 in Virginia Beach, 2 in Chesapeake, and 1 in Norfolk. We're also, coincidentally, giving away free pizza on Thursday. All you have to do is register at our webpage, WTKR.com/Marcos, and you could win some free pizza for a year, and that would be delivered to you by way of a certificate. If you happen to win and it's randomly selected, your name would go here, and you would get 1 large pizza with 1 topping every month for a year for free. And we've been giving away these certificates really since May of last year. And so we've given away hundreds of pizzas in less than a year, and Marcos has been really generous to do that. They didn't have to do that, but the Bozzoli's on the left, that's a great lunch item if you're looking for something to try. Maybe you've never tried Marcos, but the Magnifico pizza, peppered with the Mike's Hot Honey, is on sale with our live streamers, the First Warning Live audience here. If you use the promo code WTKR Sunny, normally this medium pizza would be about $16.50, maybe $17 with tax or more, but the medium is $10.99. So you can try it, you can see it if you like it, but in the meantime, hopefully you will win some pizza, hopefully before this week is through, because we'll be announcing those winners on Thursday. Just checking in with you if you've got a comment. I did mention Star White's note. She's hoping for snow. We can reminisce, Star. I'm not making an example of you, because there are a lot of you that are like, give me some snow. I don't see it, all right? I just don't see it. If I did, I'd tell you. But I've been on this beat, on this winter path, as it were, and been very consistent with it since before Halloween. So I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of that in that regard. But if we talk about some fog in the morning, yeah, there could be. There could be some fog, some reduced visibility around 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then after 7, I'd say 9, 10 o'clock, it's all going to disappear. So you see, 12.5 miles, 12.4, that's about the max you'll find. But it could drop even lower in the Outer Banks as well. One of the other stories that might be missed is how warm it's going to be in the mornings, because the normal low this time of year is 34. As I mentioned, we were at 42 this morning, but on Monday morning, it was 28. So when you put this into perspective, when you put this into context, sure, 28 sounds awfully cold. We do get a pullback on Thursday. There's going to be a front comes through and kind of drop the temperature a bit. But even 41 relative to the 34 here, it's improved, right? And then you're waking up in the morning in the 50s over the weekend. So it's going to feel like we've suddenly entered April. It's going to feel suddenly like it's springtime in Hampton Roads. And I definitely think that that's a possibility. I think you're going to feel that way. Just hope that doesn't surprise you, because I'm all about weather doesn't surprise you. Let me toggle on some of the new comments if there are some. This would be a great opportunity for you to sound off. Let me know what you think, feel. If you're not happy with the forecast, I mean, I'll listen to the complaint. I'll listen to the argument, but all I see at this point is warmer weather, at least in the short term. Taj Brown has a follow-up here. Let's put him on the screen. He says, was born until the next 2 years, only heard of the circus blizzard. Okay, the circus blizzard, no one tells that story better than former chief meteorologist Patrick Rocky. Patrick Rocky, he has a story embedded in the 75th anniversary package and story that we put out last September. So you want to check that out if you haven't. Maybe we had people that were trapped in the scope. Imagine, I mean, as much as we all love the scope, nobody really wants to have to spend the night there because they can't get out due to snow, but that was the circus blizzard. And there are other details that involved elephants and circus clowns and all sorts of other things that I won't get into in this stream. Kim Thompson at Jones is there. I was snowed in and loved it. Okay, so maybe somebody remembers 1996. It was a long time ago. I would assume you would probably, if it was a 30-year anniversary, let's say you were 40, you were 10, maybe 35 years ago, maybe you're 5 years old. But it was a lot of snow, as I mentioned, 30 years ago. This was coming by way of our friends at the National Weather Service Wakefield. They put it on their Facebook page. So if you want to go back and look at these pictures, I just zoomed in here to suggest that we probably had 5 to 10 in Hampton Roads, maybe a little bit less in North Carolina, but their focus is not so much Tar Heel State. They focus more on Virginia and the Eastern Shore, but it was like 36, 37 inches. Maybe not far from JMU or Harrisonburg and other areas in the mountains of the Commonwealth. So that's where that was. Let's go back, if I may, to the Norfolk low temperatures. We're going to be in the mid-50s by this Saturday. Did I mention that? Be very, very warm. I hope you're going to be ready for some changes headed your way for sure. All right, so let's go ahead and jump ahead. The satellite radar picture. Can we do that? We can do that. We've had some clouds overhead, but the trend is for them to thin out tonight. It looks like they're already doing that. If you really look at this closely, the clouds look like they're moving out. We had a few clouds during the 6th, and most of them have been very high clouds. So the trend was to go from clouds to mostly clear, and it seems like we're on that path. But once we remove the blanket from the bed, we get cold. Once we move the clouds from the atmosphere, we get the fog. So tomorrow morning, you'll wake up and suddenly see, hey, well, I didn't see the weather. I went to bed, it was fine. Took the dog out, and then I woke up and there was some fog. Don't be surprised. I'm just trying to tell you, doing my part to help you know that fog may be part of the early part of your Wednesday. Meanwhile, the storm system that's going to bring in a drop in temperature on Thursday, you can see that front's back across West Tennessee. The low is in southern Illinois, and there's a front that drapes across parts of the Ohio Valley. Here we are at 7:52, and we're plus 14 at Chesapeake. Now, this may not mean much to you, but if you compare apples to apples, you compare 7:52 tonight versus 7:52 last night, we're smoking, we're hot, we're in fuego, we're on fire, we're plus 16 in the harbor of hospitality known as Elizabeth City. We're plus 11 right now in Mermaid City here. I mean, it's warm relative to where we were. And as I've said before, it's just getting started. This is just the beginning. This is not even the tip of the iceberg, but with ice, right, that's cold. What's the opposite of an iceberg? A fire? I don't know if it's going to be that hot, but it's going to be certainly warmer than it was today heading into the upcoming weekend. Some of you will be so confused, like, I don't know what to do. How do I dress? What do I need to wear? And how do I dress the kids? Those are two important questions, but that's why we always encourage you to watch senior meteorologist Miles Henderson in the morning. He's got those answers for you in the morning as it can change from day to day. Look at this. Emporia is the cool spot, right, at 44 right now. Memphis at 49, Gloucester 46. There aren't a lot of 40s on this board right now. It's still 61 in Suffolk and 60 in Elizabeth City. So tonight, if you dip into the upper 40s briefly, don't be surprised, right? 50 around Elizabeth City, 50 Gatesville, 49 in Smithfield, Chesapeake, and Moyock, and 50 for Corolla. Those are my expected lows. Rain chances are very slim. We had a few specks of rain over Hatteras this morning. That was accounting for my 10% chance, but really I don't expect anything tomorrow. Nothing on Thursday, 20% Friday, and a 40% Saturday now. And most of that Saturday rain may develop across the peninsula. So really, if you look at the surface map going down the road, it's more of a macro view. you'll see that even by Wednesday, tomorrow night, we still have virtually clear skies. The next front's going to come racing in, and that's off to the far west. That front will come through Missouri and work its way through Kentucky, West Virginia, Maryland, and eventually work its way here. So the rain we get this weekend, about a 40% chance. This is 12 noon on Saturday. And I know what some of you might be thinking, well, I have plans on Saturday. Well, maybe those plans include an umbrella. That would be what I'm thinking. If you have a 40% chance, and the best chance is going to be around the peninsulas, that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. That's not to say you couldn't get a few passing showers in the Outer Banks, but it would seem like most of it's going to be farther north. That's 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon. 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon, there's very little here, and it's more widely scattered here, but the bulk of it really is coming up in this trajectory, headed toward maybe D.C. By that point. And then we get another round coming in on late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. This would maybe by the time many church services are letting out, the rain's trying to get out of here, and we see some improvement by then. So I'm going to go kind of in a backwards fashion and give you the headlines now that you know everything. Just getting warmer. Highs in the 50s, 60s, and 70s this week. Okay. There's about a 10-degree drop, though, for the afternoon on Thursday with more sunshine. Highs about 58 on, say 57, rather, on Thursday. Tomorrow's 67. I think Thursday's 57. So 10 degrees cooler by Thursday. And then the weekend, we're tracking rain with a cold front, which we'll look again at momentarily. Just checking in for the planner, and we'll stop and check in with you. High temperature tomorrow, about 67 in the shade. If we get some fog, again, it's in the morning hours. By midday, the start of the afternoon is just going to be very, very bright. Winds will start from the southwest in the morning, should become more northwesterly in the afternoon, but you're going to have a pretty steady wind about 10 to 15 throughout the day. And I do think we've got mostly sunny skies at 4 at 67. Still 504 is when the sun goes down tomorrow. It went down at 503 today. And I don't know if you saw, did you see the sunset tonight? It was like for Purple Mountain's majesty above the fruited plain. It was beautiful. It looked like it had a purple tint, and not just like my tie, but it was purple all across the area. And I'm interested to see what our WTKR photographers took. I'll look at that come tomorrow. But this is where we're expected to be for the next day, and how you plan on that accordingly. Hopefully you'll be all set. Got a couple of notes. Marilyn Bell, she's on here, and she says, "Wow. Never heard of that. That's an amazing fact." Now, I'm catching this in midstream. So when you leave a comment, you'll need to help me connect the dots. I'm not sure what she's excited about or what she's saying is a fact that she didn't know, but I'm glad that she's here. Let's see here. Taj is on here. Kim is on here. And we've got some other folks who... Denise Gibson. Let's see here. I think she's talking about the snow. Denise, it was a big one. I had a 3-year-old and a 9-year-old. She's talking about the 30th anniversary of the blizzard of '96, if you're just joining us. My husband and son had to get upon the roof to shovel the snow off. That's a fascinating thought for me, because when I lived in Rochester, New York, I had to do that 3 times. Just because you didn't want the weight of the snow to hurt the gutters and the shingles, all of it. Yeah, absolutely. But Denise, thank you for sharing that memory, because it is very visual. Some people love to say, "Hey, we're going to get some snow," but they don't realize when it's a lot of snow, it can be very debilitating and crippling for a neighborhood, for a community. And I do thank you, Denise, for sharing that thought with us. Just checking in with you. I'm going to go back to the maps here. And I'm going to also, if I can, go back to my Facebook page, because I was reading to you from the National Weather Service in Wakefield. Of course, they have their own web page, their Facebook page, and that's where I was able to capture some of those memories. Here's what you're going to be maybe astonished, maybe not. By this point, you're probably like, I'm not surprised by anything. But I did mention just a moment ago that 72, right here, 72, is the low-hanging fruit for this month. For January of any year, January 2026 in this case, is the lowest record high of the 31 days. And when it's the low-hanging fruit, it could be the one that falls, right? So if the normal high is 51, we're going to be around 67 tomorrow, and maybe there's some wiggle room up here, but I do think we're 10 degrees colder. So if we hit 60, let's say we hit 69 tomorrow, then we're probably going to be at 59 here. I definitely think there's about a 10-degree ordinal lower on Thursday. Then we're up to about 70 on Friday, mostly cloudy with some spotty rain. But this is the day on Saturday. All indications are now that Saturday will be warmer than Friday, even if it is just by a few degrees. Just checking in with you. Would love to say hi to you. Now, the Arctic air that we like to look at, if it is going to snow, sometimes we can see some telltale signs in the stratosphere. And I've shown this before. I showed you this one from yesterday. This was January 5th, because this is an analysis from NOAA on the 5th of January at about 10 or 11 miles up. It's warming. As we all know from middle school class, that warm air rises, cold air sinks. Warm air rises, cold air sinks. And so typically the time frame that this would occur would be 30 days later. So by February 5th, we could see some of this cold air aloft come back down. But I think it's on the wrong side of the planet, meaning if we look at, that was yesterday, January 5th, look at today. It's even further on the other side. It's back here now. And that would be really, really tough, even by the February 6th standard, to expect that we're going to push some of this cold air. Like I said, I think we've broken the back of old man winter. I just don't, as I've said before, I'll say it again, I don't necessarily exclude the idea that we couldn't get some snow. From this point forward, we could get some snow in February. And then you said, oh, you're going to eat crow. Well, maybe, but I just don't think the worst of winter, when you look back at the whole season, like in every football game, you have first half and second half. I think the first half is over, right? Once we get to Dr. King Day, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day on the 19th, I think we've turned a corner. And I've said this time and time again, but I'm not changing my view. And based on what I'm seeing from this image, if we did get some cold air pushing down from the stratosphere with a sudden stratospheric warming event, it would be displaced. It would reverse the winds. It would push it down to Canada and the Great Lakes. And that may be where it stops. That may be as far south as it goes. And you can see why the upper air pattern reflects that. This looks very, very warm and toasty this Friday, right? I said we were going to be around 70, 72 Friday and Saturday. That's the 9th and 10th. Really not, the ridging going on here is very, very warm, and it's not very, very cold, but it's going to be replaced next Monday. Sunday is going to be dropping, but Monday, the 12th, I think we're sunny, but highs of about 47. We start the morning around 32. So I'll say this again, if that message didn't get heard, let me be the first to say, we will go back to freezing temperatures come Monday morning. So even though we get a preview of what April 20th looks like, April 20th's normal high is 72, so I just picked that arbitrarily. I cherry-picked that date, but really, this January 12th, January 12th will be colder, but January 10th, which is Saturday, will feel more like April 20th. It just will, because we're going to be likely in the lower 70s. But notice, you can see as I take this full screen, the 11th of January, temperatures go back down, and then they come back up, and then there's a surge. Ooh, the 15th. Maybe that's when we get some snow. Maybe, or maybe not. It just is going to depend on timing, and maybe there's no precipitation that comes with it. There's just a cold blast. But it will be something to watch all the same as we carry into the middle of the month. Now, if you see the rotation of these purple areas, they come down like spokes on a wheel. And every time, like the tide at the beach, right? Low tide in the morning, high tide in the afternoon. The atmosphere, it's water vapor. It's much like the ocean. It goes in waves, it goes in cycles. Our cycle in December was cold. We finished the month, as I've mentioned before, at negative 4.6 degrees below normal. There was a 4 there. 4.6 degrees below normal for the whole month. Average up all the days, highs and lows, divide by 31. You essentially got a cold, really cold December. If it's -1 or -2 degrees, that's cold. But to be almost -4.5, more than that, is pretty remarkably cold. Now, so far, it's what, 2 to 4. We got 4 below normal days. We have 2 above normal days, but we're going to get above normal here, above normal here. We're going to see more red squares. This month of January will not be as cold as December. And that's why I said, in the big scheme of things, I think the worst of winter is over. That's not to say we couldn't get something. And if I see something that I think has the neon sign or the alarm bells are going off, I'll tell you. But at this point, I think it's just steady as she goes. If you like the warm weather, give yourself the heating costs a break. Because I think once we get the heating bill and the holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah credit card bill, we're going to have enough to pay for. We have got enough problems, right? 65, normal temperature again is 51. This time we hit 65 today. We would have needed another 10 degrees just to tie 1998, 1950. So you can see here there are 2 years that were attached to 75. I think if we tie this Saturday's record of 72, it would be 1957 and 2026. So it's happened before. We've been as warm as 75 on this date, but we have not been higher than 72 on the 10th of January. By the way, if you haven't downloaded our free News 3 First Warning Weather app, what are you waiting for? It is free, and it also works great with your NOAA radio. If you have a NOAA radio, you get notifications all the time, whether your phone is charged or not. But I love the app, and you can actually get it very easily either at the App Store or Google Play. Checking in with airport delays, I don't see anything tonight, which is good news there, as we're now at 8:04. Where we did have some nasty delays last night was in San Francisco, if I remember correctly. They had an over 2-hour delay because of a storm that was hitting them, but they're dry tonight in Monterey and San Fran. Further north, however, it looks like they've got a storm system around Portland and Seattle, where they're probably getting a combination of rain and some snow in the Cascades. Spokane getting some snow, it looks like. Some areas in Idaho also getting snowed in, perhaps at this hour. We expand the view, go back to the Great Lakes, head toward Wisconsin and Michigan. You can see it's snowing here, a little bit of mix there in pink. And around Lake Ontario, Buffalo, it looks like it's raining at this particular hour. Got some other comments. Would love to say hi to you. Kim is also following up on the very thought I had. She says, good, because after getting my gas bill today, I need to get a break from using the heat. I'm right there with you, right? Because if you overextended, it's easy to do. If you overextended yourself financially on the holidays, you bought this, and then there was that latte I got, and then you look at your credit card bill, oh, and then there's the heating bill. I'm saying, it gives you a chance, at least this week, that you probably won't have to extend and turn on all of the heating sources. You'll be able to get a break, especially when the morning lows are in the 50s, and those days are coming. So thank you following up on that. I got a hello from our buddy Luke. Luke is here. He says hi. Glad to see Luke watching as well. And I want to salute all those that watch later on in the night or day, because we got people watching at all times, and I appreciate the live viewers, especially because I get to interact with you in nearly real time. Now, as you can see, the radar is lit up across the Great Lakes. You say, well, is that coming here? Not exactly. In fact, if you need more evidence that that's not coming here, let me reset this to the lower 48 so everybody sees this, because my next map is going to tell you why Star White's desire for snow at Hampton Roads probably isn't going to come to pass. Because what I've done for us here, a little mix it up, today's the 6th of January, and I'm going to take you 10 days down the road to the 16th, Friday of January. And you tell me, I'll stop it throughout the period, tell me where and when we're going to get this snow in Hampton Roads. I don't see it. I don't see it here. I see some rain in the Midwest. Oh, but it's snowing in Denver, but we don't live in Denver. Oh, it's snowing in Salt Lake City, but we don't live in Salt Lake City. Looks dry, right? And we carry this even further. Oh, there's some rain headed this way. Yeah, we got rain in the forecast this weekend. We do. But there's snow in Kansas. Okay, we don't live in Kansas. Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore. Oh, and then that snow, oh, it goes up toward Canada, Quebec, moves away. And then so what I'm saying is you're going to be hard-pressed to get snow in here right through the 16th. Oh, but there's some snow here in West Virginia and Kentucky. It's coming this way. Well, not so fast, because by the time it gets there, it dries up. So what I'm saying is, you're going to be hard-pressed. That's 10 days. That's just a glimpse. I mean, there are as many of these things, these little computer models, as there are breakfast cereals at the grocery store. And you can look at them all day in the basement and get all excited about, oh, we're going to get this storm. Someone said we're getting this. I don't see it. I don't see it. And if I have to be on the cutting edge to tell you I don't see it, I don't see it. Now, I had some people say, oh, it's going to get really bad by the 10th of January. Show me. I don't see it. I just took you through the 16th. So when I see something, I'll let you know. 57 current temperature in Norfolk, 55 in Virginia Beach, 54 in Hampton, 49 in Newport News. Look at these numbers. It's still 59 in Hertford, 59 in Edenton, who hit 70 today, and 58 in Elizabeth City. Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill at 54 at RDU, 66 Hatteras, 57 in Nashville. Now, this is something you don't see every day. No, when I was on at 6, We were 1 degree warmer than Vegas. Now it seems like it's switched. Now we're 2 degrees cooler than Vegas, but still, it's 20 degrees in Bangor, Maine, and they're 15 degrees colder in Big Apple. They're at 40, but 55 in Virginia Beach compared to the 57 in Vegas. We've got more warmth coming. This is a southwest wind. The story is the warmth. And the question is, well, will you be able to adjust? Will the wardrobe be ready to be adjusted? Because you're not going to need as heavy of a scarf. You won't need as warm. You won't even need the gloves, I would imagine, especially as by the time we hit this weekend, when temperatures, you're like, I got to pull out the bicycle, get some exercise on the boardwalk. Maybe so. Maybe so. And you can see the really cold air in white and blue well up across Canada, trying to dip down across the Great Lakes. It has efforts to come down, so we'll get some colder days, but if you average it all out, it's near normal. We've got really above normal temperatures in the short term, but then it'll kind of get back to near normal heading down the road. And this is indicated and illustrated by our friends at the Climate Prediction Center, which is a division of NOAA. This is the 6 to 10 day outlook, takes you through the 16th. And it puts us pretty much either above or near normal for this part of the country. Below normal, perhaps, for Florida, not terribly so, and above normal for Montana and the Dakotas. Now, if we look at the 8 to 14, this takes you through the 20th. It kind of looks like it's trying to normalize. It's trying to get back to some kind of equilibrium, which we know, and if you really understand weather, it never reaches an equilibrium. Does the waves at Virginia Beach, does it ever come to an equilibrium? No. The waves are constantly in flux. They're always moving, and the weather's no different. But I do think we're going to normalize our temperatures as we head toward the 20th of January, and by that point, I think we've probably had the worst of winter in the rearview mirror. By the way, the Eastern Shore tomorrow, about 58 for Bloxham, Saxis, and Chincoteague, 57 Onancock, and 57 for Exmoor, double nickels for Cape Charles with mostly sunny skies. Touch of fog, though, for you in the morning, Eastern Shore. 61 Nags Head and Kill Devil Hills, 58 Ducks, 62 for Manio. And if you're in Rodanthe, Ocracoke or Hatteras, look for mostly sunny skies to develop in the lower 60s. By the way, the Storm Prediction Center shows a lot of times these little risk categories for severe weather. If it's dark green, we typically think of isolated severe. That means very few get them, but it's still a possibility. So what you're saying, if you're dark green, there's a chance. And I don't see anything between now and tomorrow morning, but I do on Wednesday. From our friends and the lens of the Storm Prediction Center, which is based in Norman, Oklahoma, they've painted Wichita Falls, Texas, Abilene, Texas, for a severe storm that might be isolated, but it could pack 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and maybe large hail. Oklahoma City and Tulsa would also be included on Wednesday's outlook, including Lawton, Oklahoma as well. But not a whole lot going on the East Coast. Now, if we go to Thursday, that same storm system expands into Arkansas, into southern Illinois, West Tennessee, even southern sections of Missouri. If we look a little closer, this would include Texarkana, Little Rock, and Memphis. It includes Tulsa, Springfield, and other areas throughout, and Fort Smith, Arkansas, just to name a few. So there are some spots that could get severe weather in January as we look at their outlooks. The futurecast tonight, though, as I mentioned, the clouds are going to go away. It's like taking away the blanket from bed, you get cold. What was going to form in its place is the fog. We pull this away, and there's a hint at 7 that there's still probably some low clouds. Low clouds and fog would probably be a better way to describe it, but that's what I think you're going to find at 7 o'clock in the morning here, and you're going to probably see it along the Outer Banks. Maybe it's not even a noticeable factor for Williamsburg or Franklin, but it might be a bigger issue along the Outer Banks and Eastern Shore. Futurecast with temperatures again warming up tomorrow at noon, should be by noontime tomorrow, should still be in the mid-60s, low 60s if at the very least, but by 4 o'clock about 67. I don't see any rain hitting us here. I think a lot of this stuff over duck is just model noise. That shows 11 o'clock tomorrow night. I think that might be overstated to say the least. By 7 o'clock on Thursday, we've got another mostly sunny day underway. By the second half of Thursday, a few scattered clouds. That's about it. So as we mentioned, the rain returns this weekend. There's 8 o'clock Saturday. I showed this before, but it looks like the best chance is going to probably be the peninsulas and northward. We head into midday Saturday. Not much has changed. A few widely scattered showers for the Outer Banks. And then by the time we hit 4 o'clock Saturday, 4 o'clock Saturday, it's still widely scattered. So I'm going to leave the 40% in, 30% Sunday morning, and then it goes doo-doo-doo. It goes all the way down with dropping temperatures, falling temperatures on Sunday. Wednesday morning, we've got a little bit of fog. I got 45 in the peninsula. It's about 49 for Southside North Carolina, 49 Ahoskie, 47 Gloucester, 46 Cape Charles, about 49 Smithfield, Chesapeake, Norfolk, as well as Moyock, and about 51 for Nags Head. Wednesday afternoon, about 60 for a high in the peninsula, 68 North Carolina, 68 Southside, and the high temperatures tomorrow should make it into a pair of 6s for Gloucester, Williamsburg, and Hampton, but only 55-ish in the mid-50s for Cape Charles, maybe closer to 60 for Chincoteague, but 70 will be, I think, on the board for places like Conway, Ahoskie, Bertie County, Windsor, and Edenton. Right? If you're in Chowan County, maybe even Elizabeth City could be flirting with 70 come tomorrow. I've got 69 for Moyock and only 61 for Nags Head, 57 for Melfa. Here's your first warning, WTKR News 370 forecast. So again, there is a bit of a pullback on Thursday by the amount of about 10 degrees. So whatever you get to tomorrow, subtract 10, and you're probably within striking distance of what you can expect on Thursday. Then we start the warming up again on Friday. The record is from 1957. It is precisely this record from 1957. It is 68 years in the making, right? We have the chance for it to go timber, and I think it will timber. I think it will on Saturday the 10th. But then we go back to reality when it's freezing and you're like, I got to turn the heat back on in my car, 47 for high temperature on Monday. But lots of sunshine, and I do have a down arrow there on Sunday because I think by the time church services let out, it is way colder than 62. It's probably dropping through the 50s and 40s pretty rapidly from west to east. So, Tuesday, mostly sunny. Yeah, I left a 10% chance of rain here because it looked like there were a few showers maybe in the Outer Banks, like Hatteras, like we had this morning. There could be some spots of rain Tuesday off the coast of Hatteras by Tuesday. So that's the way things shape up. By the way, the wolf moon is what we call the January full moon. Our friend Don captured this wolf moon rising. I won't howl. Kurt Williams did that for us at 6. The Gloucester County moon from Saturday night from Brenda Davis. Thank you, Brenda, for sharing this beautiful picture. And also from our WTKR photographers group, Charles Powers in Matthews with 1 T, mind you. Sunrise in Matthews County this morning looked beautiful, even though we had some clouds. Thank you, Charles, for sharing that picture. I think it's breathtaking, and it's another beautiful reason why people live in this part of the world, why we love it here. And by the way, the satellite radar shows that the clouds are trying to get out now, but we're looking for a mostly sunny day after some early fog. We'll call it a touch of fog, but lots of sunshine for the next couple of days. If you're on the call, would love to say hi to you. I got Kim and Luke and Taj and Marilyn. Oh, Marilyn's saying about the circus balloon. Yeah, you have to definitely check the story I did. It's pinned to my my friend page on Facebook, but you'll check it out. It's about the 75th anniversary of WTKR, which was in fact last year. Now we're focused, I think, as a country on the 250th anniversary of the USA, so we're kind of like in a whole different category in 2026. Did I mention we've got a great product? Marco's is always looking outside the pizza box. They've got a great product called Mike's Hot Honey Magnifico. It is essentially their pepperoni pizza. It's the old cup style pepperoni, but it's the Magnifico with the Mike's Hot Honey on it. So if you like the sweet taste of honey and a little bit of a spicy kick, like jalapeno peppers going down, that's what the Mike's Hot Honey really emphasizes. You can get it for about $10.99. That is a big price discount because normally it's like $16.50 or $17, depending on what Marco's you're looking at. But I can tell you this, if you use the promo code WTKR Sunny, you'll get a savings of about $6.50, $7 when you order your Magnifico. It is the deal of the week. I've mentioned too that we have 6 locations that are participating in the Mike's Hot Honey discounted pizza, but also we're giving away free pizza this Thursday. Your name may be selected. All it takes is just a few moments, about a minute or two max, to supply us your name, your email, your address, so we know where to send the certificate. And you might be asking yourself, certificate? What certificate? Well, if you win, we're going to send you a pizza for a year certificate, which means you would get one large, one topping pizza every month for free. That's the key. Your name would be typed in here, and then you would have a free pizza every month for the rest of 2026. That's pretty sweet. Cost you nothing to enter, nothing to suggest. I mean, get your name in the drawing, but we've given away lots of pizzas, and we'll also be giving away 10 individual pizzas on Thursday as well. The new Pozzoli, it's not new now, but maybe new to you if you've never tried it. My personal favorite is the pepperoni and sausage. If you pair it with some ranch dressing or maybe the Pizza Cup marinara sauce, it's fantastic. You'll love that. Plus, the garlic sauce is another great little dipping sauce you could put in there. But the pepperoni magnifico on the right works great by itself. But as I said, if you wanted to add the Mike's Hot Honey on it, try that. It is also a fantastic option. And if you want to enter to win the pizza for a year, go to our webpage, WTKR.com/Marcos, to satisfy your appetite. Well, just a reminder, I appreciate all of your time. It is now 8:19. Just know that you are probably going to think short sleeve shirts very soon, if you haven't already. And maybe you might even leave the jacket behind by this weekend. We'll see, because Friday's coming, and many of us will see 70s for highs Friday and Saturday. That would be pretty sweet. Well, remember, it doesn't matter if the weather is sunny or serious. Every day is a gift. So make the most of it in your neighborhood. We'll see you here tomorrow. Take care.